Uh, it's the time to pray, and we've been leading ourselves into a place of prayer, doing a study through the book of Daniel. Yesterday we looked at verse 6. Today we're going to look at verse 7 of Daniel chapter 2. And it reads, it says, they answered. These were the magicians that were answering Nebuchadnezzar's request for them to tell him his dream and also tell him in the interpretation of a dream. So Nebuchadnezzar, the magicians said, they pleaded again. They answered again and said, let the king tell his servants the dream and we will show the interpretation of it. You know, what hits me as I read that verse of scripture is the fact that it's when we seemingly run away from reality. You know, when life happens, one of the ways in which we approach it is that we do as if what is reality is not reality, or we go into that wishing mode. We wish this, we wish that, you know, and that never helps, all right? Wishing is one of the enablers of depression, is one of the promoters of you not being able to come out, you know, of depression or come out of a dicey situation easily, right? For as long as you are wishing, you are not doing anything about the situation, the circumstance where you find yourself, you know. Wishing is what you would call the learned helplessness. You know, unfortunately, church people help that situation by telling you about a destiny helper, which, like I say all the time, is not you won't find that in the Bible. I don't know where people coin it from, but that's a devilish message, right? You know, when you have a problem, the first thing is to apply yourself. There's always something you can do in every circumstance, situation you find yourself. It's not about looking for someone else. It's about doing what you can do in the circumstance of life that you find yourself. My beloved sister Ronke is here. Good morning, Ma. You're welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning. Bless you. Good to have you.
Thank you.
So we're looking at verse 7 of Daniel chapter 2, just as a lead into the place of prayer. So it was just that place where the magician, the wise people were pleading with Nebuchadnezzar as against what he was requesting of them. He wanted them to tell him his dream, which he has forgotten, and also tell him the interpretation of a dream. But they didn't have that capability, as it were. It was easy for them to give interpretation, but to tell someone the dream that the person had and that person had forgotten was not within their capacity at that point in time. You know, and I was just saying that just the parallel I see is when life hits us. You know, one of the disenabling stands when life happens to us is when we get into that mode of I wish. You know, for as long as we're wishing, we're not doing anything about the circumstance we find ourselves. You know, and I wish doesn't work. I wish is of the devil, because there's nothing you can do about the circumstances of yesterday. Right? Yesterday is gone. Right? For as long as you're wishing, you're not doing anything about the circumstance that you have in front of you. You are delaying your deliverance. You are prolonging the evil day. Right? Whatever mistake you made in the past is gone. There's nothing you can do about it. We can't change our yesterday. Right? We can only do our best today. Right? Today is what is given to us to make a change, to make a difference, not our yesterday. You know. So I was just talking about when people preach about this destiny helper thing, it only helps to embolden, to strengthen this wrong concept of wishing, right? Because we're wishing for some person to come and deliver us instead of us using what is within our capacity to deliver us. Thank you. Thanks for praying. You know, we're just sharing still on the 7th verse of Daniel chapter 2. And it really, what we're talking about is when disaster happens, when life happens to us. And we've all had our own circumstance of life, when life hits us straight in the face, when something we're not expecting comes our way, and we've all had to learn our lessons, we've made our mistakes, we'll survive through it. And that's also all we're trying to recount by looking at verse 7 here of Daniel chapter 2, and we all know from experience that one of the worst things to do is to get into the wishing mode, wishing this had not happened, that had not happened, I wish I had done that, I wish this. And that's wishing is the easy way to depression. I used to think that wishing, because I'm a deep thinker, it's very easy for me to get into that mode of second guessing and get into that, oh, I wish, oh, if only I had done that, what would have happened ever? And I waste my time. And when you do that, and you get to a place where you call it do loop, because you can't do anything about it, and you're thinking about the same thing over and over again, you're on the route to depression. That's how depression takes place, right? Because you're second guessing and your wishing is called anxiety, because you are scared, you are fearful of the circumstance of life that is facing you and that will face you, right? And that is not the best way to life, right? Like we all read in scripture, the Bible says that perfect love has no fear, right? Fear, or anything done out of fear, will not give you life. It will not lead you in the path of righteousness. When life hits you, it's just the opportunity to just settle